Yo, welcome to Music is a Day Job. I'm your host, Sean, and Music is a Day Job is brought to you by the Concert app. Concert app is an artist accelerator app that takes artists from opener to headliner to on tour and gives the fan the best experience in independent live music. Now, I watched a video earlier this week. I think I posted it on the Concert app. It's where T-Pain talks about, he says that when he samples music, he was like, people ask for 70% of it because the sample. He's like, go ahead. He's like, take 100%.
Sample a song. We go to clear the sample or something like that. They're like, we want 70% of the song. I'm like, all right, cool. Take it. You want 100? You can have 100% of the fucking song. I don't give a shit. Because you know why? This song's going to be so big, I'm going to be on the road for the next 2 years getting $60,000 a night. You're going to be waiting on royalty checks, which is probably going to be about $13 a month. Fuck do I give a fuck if you take it? I don't give a shit how much of the percentage, and most of that money that's coming from where you're getting your percentage from is going back to the label anyways. I don't give a fuck about that.
Because this song's gonna be big. I'm gonna go on tour and get $60,000 a night. So take 100% of the royalties, like of anything. And like, here's the crazy thing, because I wanted to talk about this because I know some people get mad at this because then they go like, man, well, you're supposed to own your masters and you're supposed to control all that and and this is the most important thing. Yes, it is if you're famous and you have all these businesses pushing your music to all these different spaces and all this stuff like that. Yes, that makes sense, because then the amount of money that's coming from it that's being generated is a lot of money. And when you're getting views at that rate, you're getting streams, you're getting radio plays at that rate, everything adds up. But see, no one sits here and talks about, like, when these artists are making $50,000 a night, where that money goes. Because you spent that in lump sum quick money, then you see these artists that are like, man, I wish they would have owned their masters. You wouldn't have had that problem if you spent the money correctly when you were making it, when you were popping. Like, because the nights where you were making $50,000 a night, you aren't making that in masters. Now, you might make money over time that makes good money over time. But when you were making $50,000 a night, if you were investing that correctly, you would have been in a better position. So, and I think what happens, which is one of the craziest things that happens in our mind as artists, is we watch these situations on TV and we watch these situations with these artists, and then we become almost like, we gotta own our masters. And we become more focused on owning and like, I don't want to do that because if I release this song or and we get more control over the song and the idea of that than even focusing on like getting fans. And owning 100% of nothing is still zero. Like, people don't get this. So it's like, people have to still want it. So yeah, it's dope to own masters so you can, I even hear people, you need to leave something to your kids and so they can all make money. If it's not at the peak already, there's nothing to own. There's nothing to leave. So it's like a weird situation because you weren't focusing on getting the fans. You were so strung up on like, hey, I gotta keep these tracks like this and that you forgot to go get the fans, and now they ain't worth nothing. It's only worth as many fans as gonna pay for it. And the only way you can see that these days is if you can see people pay for tickets to see you. That's the only way you can tell what this is worth these days. Because the streams can be lies. The streams can be tagged anything. I have a song that I get streams because the song was on Netflix. It isn't fully based off of me. It's based off of another situation that I can't control. And yes, that's amazing because I still make money off of it. However, it's not controlled. So what I do know is when I can get this money off these shows, I can do what I want to do. I can buy houses, I can buy cars, I can do everything I need to do. I can invest in whatever I need to invest in. I just have to understand it when I'm getting that money up front. So yes, it's important to own your masters and own this, but don't miss the whole first boat. The first boat is here. When you're able to perform and when you're able to find fans and grow fan bases, that's where the bulk of this money is really going to make sense. So I liked what he said, because he was like, I'm gonna make $60,000 a night. Inside that, if he does what he needs to do with that money, that could be way stronger than any masters he's ever had. Because if he goes on, if he tours for a year at $60,000 a night, and he's doing 4 nights a week, like if he invests in the correct things, those masters will never match up to what he invested in with that money. And no one talks about that. So it's like, don't miss the first boat because you're hung up on what these industry dudes talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're so hung up on the music piece of it that you're not going, like, you're so hung up on what you think this music is worth, but you ain't even made it worth anything to the people. Their music is worth so much because they have installed fan bases being pushed by these labels and putting money behind them. So yeah, if someone's putting 5 million behind, 10 million behind this kid and everything like that, and then his catalog gets worth a bunch because everyone wants to hear it, then they say, yeah, if he missed out on the boat of owning his masters or owning a piece, yeah, he's gonna miss out on a lot of money. But if you're not in that space, then now you need to worry on the first step, which is getting the people to you and getting the people to come see you and getting people to pay for this product that you have. Make it worth that much. Then if you already own it, great. That's what it is. But see, people don't talk about that. You see what I'm saying? People look at the kid that has the hit song, that may have a hit song because of TikTok or something like that, but isn't making money like that. And then they give up their masters so they can get a good deal up front. They spend all the money, then they don't own the masters. Then you see them come on TV and you see them go like, man, I should have had some of the money of the masters. No, you gave it all up at one point because you wanted that money then. And that's the real gist of this. That's the harsh truth of this. Otherwise, if you wanted that money then because you wanted the label to put all that machine so you can get in front of everybody, so you can tour and have the fame, have all the people screaming your name. That's what you get up these masters for. So if you wanted to work and do it yourself, you wouldn't have to give them up. And we wouldn't be having this conversation. But don't miss the first boat, because the first boat is the main boat here. Like, you're just not going to, majority of us artists aren't going to make it big. We're not going to see a Drake money or Kendrick money or anything like that. So then what we have to do is we have to control it where we can control it. And the masters don't even matter at that point because you don't have enough interest sparked. So then what you need to focus on is just getting interest sparked and making money so you can live off this. And that's the goal of this. It's for us to live off this. So I just wanted to jump on here about that little myth and that idea, because I just seen people just say some of the crazy things. Like, I'm like, yo, like, dudes will be holding back masters. Like, man, I own my masters. Like, well, who listens to this? Who listens to this music? Like, like, none of us are doing streams like that. Like, there's some of us who are doing streams like that. Like, I know a couple dudes that are independent that are doing streams like that, and shout out to them. But then even them, I know them doing all these streams and can't turn it over in shows, which is the craziest thing you'll ever see, is because you actually could have made more money on the shows if you understood how to harness that in and control that enough. Because you got to think, if you putting, like, as I tell people, 150 people in the city is 1,000 a night. So if you put in 150 people in 10 cities, of course, you're making 10,000. So if you stop my 10 cities, that's your quick 10,000 between the sponsors and that and the merch. You might be hitting 20,000 that month. And it's like, inside that, if you keep it going and you grow those groups of fans to 150 to 300, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're looking at 300, you at least worth 2,000 or more. So, and you doing nights like you work a job? Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, the last thing I'm thinking is when this music gets published. That's the last thing I'm thinking, because I'm like, yo, we going nights tonight, 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 tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we gonna stack this, you know? So think about that first boat. Just wanted to tell you. Once again, this music is Day Job. I'm your host, Sean, and it's brought to you by the Concert app. Now, of course, the Concert app is in tons of states right now. If it's not in your state, definitely reach out to us. There's actually a request button now. The request is showing your area. Once I start seeing enough demand, that makes it easier for me to go out there. If you have venues, let us know, because then we can get out there quicker. Tell every artist to get on the app. The Concert app is on every platform. Like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe. And then if you have any ideas of any topics you would like me to talk about, definitely leave it in the comments. Yeah.